best to date, 665.
You don't get better unless you test yourself, push your limits, and never settle. And that's what makes St. Clair a top competitor. When we met up at his gym, I told him to just do his normal workout, but he raised the bar and set a personal best. That's what 15 reps at 500 pounds sounds like. And this is what a world record sounds like. You see the product on the field, but Coach Chuck, as he's known, does most of his talking in the weight room.
I want you to go up 30 again. 20. 20 right here, Green.
Chuck Zimmerman is how he's known away from the gridiron, where he carries a strong presence from his military service.
I really got a good base for conditioning and strength. You know, I went in the Marine Corps in 1987, and our football program in high school didn't really have a weight program. So I learned from a lot of guys that had worked out and did powerlifting for years. All right, here we go. Up and down, up and down. Come on, MJ.
These are the bats designed for the Cubs' Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies' Rhys Hoskins to use in the 2018 Home Run Derby. Getting to see them up close is cool enough in itself, but these bad boys are made right here in the tri-state. Dinger Bats, situated in the small town of Ridgeway, Illinois, is a hometown business that's reached new heights. Townsend's Food Center has been a staple in Dixon, Kentucky since 1952. It's seen countless customers walk through the aisles, which holds an equal amount of stories to tell. Mac Townsend,
hi there, how you doing?
One of the brothers who owns the grocery store, is always there to greet you with a smile. But one of his biggest customers just so happened to be a UK legend and an NBA Hall of Famer.
I'd turn around and Frank would come in and he'd be sitting on this old Coca-Cola stool. And of course, he was 6'5" or 6", and he'd sit down and he could still cross his leg, which I can't do. He'd be right back here, and he'd have him a carton of 2% milk, and I'd make him a sandwich. He'd sit here and he would eat.
I was having just a rough week, and just with the practice and everything, I honestly just didn't think I was going to get it.
But when you give 100% on every play, there's always a spot on the team. The player being mobbed by his teammates is Max Forston. He was a student manager of Boonville baseball after not making the cut in each of the last 3 seasons until now. Even after falling short multiple times, Forston never gave up. So Pioneers head coach Eric Barnes took his first name and made it a rallying cry: Max Effort. Well, the Boise Bulldogs were not known as winners. 6 straight years of losses for the softball team, 6 straight years of trying hard but not getting over that one hurdle. They entered today with optimism and left with jubilation.
We all been through it, and we knew how that team felt, but getting our win was something that we know what it feels like now. We never knew what a win felt like until today.
And getting the first one in 6 years starts with family.
It always means a lot when your parents are here to watch you. My dad's watched me for 16 years of coaching, and he's always been there.
It's game day, and the Highland Challenger League players can't wait to get started.
Oh yeah, about 5 o'clock this morning, he woke up and started demanding how he wanted his food, his meds, his uniform, and it's time to go.
After breakfast, it was time to hop on the bus to Volunteer Stadium. The Little League World Series is youth baseball's biggest stage, and nothing is stopping these athletes from Evansville from being a part of it.
Game day!
It starts to sink in when the players walk down the tunnel and into the dugout. Then before you know it, it's game time, as players from both teams receive their medals from Hall of Famer Vladimir Guerrero for making it to the big stage.
This is the best game of the World Series. You know, Little League is for everybody, and this Challenger Division program demonstrates that every child should have an opportunity to put a Little League uniform on and come out in a Little League field and enjoy the benefits and the fun of playing with their friends.
Allie Shanks will do the honors when it comes to the national anthem, captivating a packed grandstand. Then it's time to play ball. The smiles on the kids' faces had the crowd cheering all game. Except when Killian Watson came up to bat. The crowd got quiet so he could focus on living out his dream. By the end of it, all the Challenger League players crossed the plate and enjoyed every second of it as parents watched their children experience the game of a lifetime.
This weekend has been fabulous. Definitely a lot of emotions. Just seeing these kids get to do what they love.
And while Volunteer Stadium is empty now, this place was packed with not only fans of the Highland Challenger League or the Hazleton Challenger League, but plenty of teams from this Little League World Series just coming out to show their support. And the Little League players stuck around after the game as well to say hello and exchange pins.
I saw that dive at home plate. That was awesome.
Oh, look, the Challenger League, I think, is a must. I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic for the kids, and also, importantly, it's fantastic for the parents and the families. You know, to see the parents weep with joy in the crowd is just something that you don't get to see.
The Challenger League exhibition game at the Little League World Series is helping make memories that will last forever. So at the end of day 3, it's mission accomplished as these players go out on top. Nick Ruffolo, 44 Sports from Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
1, 2, 3, Challenger!
I wouldn't take it back. I mean, I still finished my season out strong. I'm still back to the way that I look, and I'm back to my old self with confidence on the field and stuff. I don't really regret anything.
Since being hit in the face with a line drive earlier this year, Evan Hendrickson has never stopped campaigning.
Most of them were like me, very oblivious to the fact of a face mask and how good it can do.
Instead of being a victim, she wanted to be the person who changed the culture.
Leaders lead, and she's always done that. She's, even from her freshman year, she's been a leader. She's been somebody you can count on and depend on.
Now, with a little help from the Union County High School Athletic Director Jeremy Tackett, all pitchers and corner infielders in Kentucky high school softball have to wear a face mask.
After the incident, I emailed the 2 Board of Control members that represent our region, that represent our school. I emailed the Commissioner Tackett with the video and the audio. The audio is bone-chilling. It's tough. But that audio was very important, I thought, for those individuals, because if we were going to really get that change that was needed, you needed to hear the audio.
The state is the first to enact such a rule and become proactive rather than reactive. It's also a rule that would have prevented what happened to Hendrickson a couple months ago.
It hit me right here, and if I would have had my mask on, it would have absorbed this. It might have pushed it up or down, I'm not sure, but it would have hit this bar.
She hopes players will understand the importance of the rule and not think of it as a burden.
It's something that you get used to very fast. I mean, I wasn't even able to wear a hat because I couldn't stand it on my head, but then I started wearing a hat and a visor, and now I wear it all the time.
But she knows there'll be some hesitation.
You know, your hair and stuff, you had to put it a certain way, or you'd sweat a certain way that you didn't like before, and it's just something that you have to give up in order for that safety precaution.
Because is refusing to spend $40 on a mask or being afraid of how you look really worth a potential lifetime of problems?
I'd hate to see somebody have to give that up just because they didn't want to wear this ugly little thing.
Nick Ruffolo, 44 Sports.